Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. It's supposed to be chilly again as well today. Yesterday it got really sunny, but it wasn't all that warm. And I can see the sun out there, and it's just supposed to be in the mid-60s, so I am currently wearing my jacket type thing over my tighter orange shirt, so even though the man rack is being hidden from view, it is still present, mighty and powerful. Indeed, I must keep the man rack covered lest I blind anyone with their magnificence. Thumbs up for that. Past that. Oh boy, yesterday I didn't go walkies at all. Not even a little walkies, not even a short one, not even a small one. I stayed in all day. I mean, both good and bad. I've mentioned before, you only need 2.5 hours of moderate exercise every week as a minimum to stay healthy, to be good, to stress your system so it does good. Well, I've been doing, trying to do 2.5 hours of this every day. And so you don't need to every single day. And moderate exercise is just walking at 3 miles per hour / 4 kph, 100 steps every minute. Just a quick, not even a hard race walk, moderate exercise. So I didn't go out yesterday. Oh boy, such is life. Let me call up my topic sheet. Not that I have a lot of topics, because one of the things I want to talk about, let's see, where I have written it down is I have a lot of static and panic up here. What with the whole situation of my housemates telling me they are turning off all the utilities because they can't afford them. Now I understand that part, but that makes this place unlivable. You can't live in a place with no power or water. You know, I need a sleep apnea machine. I need to flush the toilet. You know, so you can't live in a place with no power, no water. Everything in a refrigerator goes bad. So I'm going to have to move. They're going to have to get their stuff. All that's going on. Great possibility of being homeless where I am on the autism spectrum. What I deal with my ADHD. Fighting through with my executive function issues, along with the depression, the generalized anxiety, the social anxieties to try and deal with people to get this done. I am not set up to deal with the kind of situation I am in right now. Part of the problem is, all of my life, I have been surrounded by people who would take care of things that I couldn't. My parents, my wife, when I was in the military and such, those people, at work, the other co-workers. There were always people there to do things. As my anxiety has grown, as I got married, friends drop away, especially when you get married. And especially when your spouse starts to die, so your orbit gets so tight that there's only room in your universe for you and your dying partner. I have no one other than family. And I don't have family. Everyone that's always helped me is dead. My parents, dead. My wife, dead. No friends anymore. I mean, not in a bad way, just even, it doesn't matter who you are, unless you're extremely extroverted, your friend circle and what you do really starts to shrink once you get married. And if you have any issues at all, like children, a medical issue, that world gets smaller and smaller. Yes, community is there and it's important and you got to be a part of it. But I don't have any of that. All the people that have done these things for me are gone. I've never learned how because I can't. I've tried. So I'm having to deal with situations with my back against the wall where I have to, trying to deal with it and get it done. As such, somebody finally, people have been pushing at me for a long time now. Well, a long time. Ever since I brought this up online, people have said, do you have a GoFundMe? Do you have a GoFundMe? Do you have a GoFundMe? It took me until yesterday to get a new GoFundMe set up. Wherever the corner is for info stuff, I'll have that there, and I'm going to try and bring it up because it asks for a limit on what your money that you want. You have to put a limit on it, you know, a goal. So I've got a goal of 15,000, but you don't need 15,000 to move. But I do need first, last, and deposit if I find a place. Well, when I find a place, if the VA can't jump in and help me enough, because I have to be homeless first before they'll help. I am hoping after I talk with my housemates and we all figure out what's going on, because I don't think they have fully thought out the whole thing where if the utilities go off, I think they thought or still think I'm just going to stay here and continue paying the rent. But I'm not going to pay the rent on a place that I can't stay in. So I'm still in the information gathering phase, but I'm also trying to make plans to talk to them, find out what they're going to do. And then I've had one storage unit. I could talk to them and see about getting another storage unit at their place. They are unheated, and then that means there's like, when I went in to look at my stuff that I had put into storage before at that place, after my wife had died and I lost my house, I lost so much stuff just to weather and mold and more inside the unit. It's not the unit's fault. It's the one that I rented is the cheapest. I bet the cost of a storage unit has gone up. But whether or not I need it for a month or 2 months or what, I would love to get my stuff into a storage unit. I got a lot of stuff. I still need to go through and throw things out because I got stuff in my closets that I don't use. And if I don't use it, then I don't need it. So I need to go through and get rid of still a lot of stuff. And then start putting all of this stuff into boxes. I was thinking that maybe I could afford to get a hotel room for the night. That's homeless. Better than sleeping in my... I still have my van, my minivan that my wife and I bought when we got married. It stopped working some years ago. It is filled with mold and more. Everything in it is just lost to mold and such. The van doesn't work. I can't use it to travel anywhere. I would need to go someplace and get a U-Haul, and I don't know how people in other states around the U.S. are able to, you know, get a U-Haul for like 19 bucks and then go out and then waste the thing. At least here in Washington State, in Shelton, when you go to get a U-Haul trailer type thing, it's 19 bucks. And after all the mandatory other fees and insurance stuff, it's 200 bucks and more for 24 hours. I mean, you can extend that, and it's a tiny bit of extension, but oh my God, it is expensive. So it's about, like I said, that's what it was when I used a U-Haul some 20 years back. 10 years back. I don't know what it costs now. But it costs like a couple hundred more than what they advertise as after all the fees and insurances are paid for. So I gotta move everything somehow. I gotta get to the place to get the U-Haul. Oh, my dual shock 4 disconnected. so I can do it. So I got to pay for the transportation, and then I got to pay for the U-Haul. Now, I don't know how I'm going to get a lot of my stuff moved, because I have a bed frame that holds the large mattress. When my housemates helped move the stuff before, it got dragged on the ground and the side of the mattress got all dirty and stuff like that. I can't move a mattress on my own. It was hard for 2 people to move, and they were young. It's more than I can move. And then the bed frame is heavy. It's an electrical thing. It's an electrical bed. So that I wouldn't be able to move. Now all my other junk, with this, I mean, I can move what I can and then see what happens. But so there is a huge amount of panic. What is not panic is static. And in the tiny, tiny, tiny little spaces that are left that are not filled with static and panic, I'm trying to hold it all together and figure out how the hell I'm going to get out of here. And what's going to happen. But now that I've talked about that for a long time, this is actually doing better. As you've seen, I'm using my arm a lot. It's heavy. I'm fighting springs. But my natural inclination is to use my arm, and unless it's really bothering me, I am doing so. It gets tired quite easily. One of the other things that I want to talk about is, even though I did this largely because using a mouse is painful, I played, where is it here, 96 Quests last night. Through a combination of having the book open on top of this. This is just to block off sight back there and such like that. I don't even have it plugged in during the summer times. So I have, but the rule book open here. I had the rule book open as the PDF. I made up character sheets, and I had cardboard stuff that I wrote things on as well for like the monsters and such. 9d6 Quest is a game where you literally have 9 dice. And that represents everything, because on your character sheet, it's easy. It is 4 boxes where you have fresh, tired, wounded, and dead. You start off with 9 dice. It can go up if you add. You can get 3 extra dice by building up as a character. And you can find artifacts that will increase this. But every challenge that you come up across, you decide how many dice you're going to roll. And you start with your fresh dice first. But there's difficulties. Difficulty, 3 through, 1 through 6. I imagine it might go higher, but why? And all you have to do is beat that on any of the dice. So if the difficulty number is 3, you just have to beat a 3 on any of the dice you roll. And you get to choose how many of those dice you want to roll. But you need to pass it. So if you fail it, you failed. And if you failed because you didn't roll enough dice, that's on you. Problem is, whenever you roll a 1, one of your dice moves from fresh to tired. Now, you have to start with your fresh dice, so you're always having to roll fresh dice first. And every time you roll a 1, it goes down to tired. And then you can roll, if you had like 3 fresh and I'll say 6 tired, and you wanted to make sure you passed the difficulty 3 test, you might take all 3 of your fresh dice and 2 of your tired dice and then roll those. That was me putting my dice in a dice tower. And then, of course, if any of your tired dice come up with a 1, they move down to wounded. And if you have to roll your wounded die and you roll a 1, it goes down to dead, and then you can't roll it anymore. If all 9 of your dice end up in the dead pile, you're dead. Now, every fight, if you're in a combat, you're going to move one of your tired dice up to your fresh. And then you have missions. So you randomly choose a map. There are 6 maps. You randomly choose a mission. There are 6 missions, but if you roll a mission you've already done, there are 3 others you can choose. When you've done all 9 missions, that's the campaign, you've won the game. Now, they are replayable enough. The one mission that I had and played to the end was you just trying to go out and kill monsters. And as long as you kill 3 major monsters, then you can say you've stopped and you've won the mission. If you get more, the people that gave you the mission will reward you more. Specifically, if you get 7 or more, they really give you stuff. Now, every time you move in a hex on the map, you roll the difficulty of 5. Depending on that mission, that particular mission. If you fail, you fight a minor monster. And they're basically like 4 Against Darkness, they're vermin. You know, you just kill them, you get nothing for it, all they do is wear down your resources. And then if you succeed in that exploration roll, you come across the major monster. Now, there are various hex structures that add or subtract from the roll, like if you enter a forest thing, if you have killed the monsters, that turns the map, well, you take a look at the map, so actually it's map generic. But a forest, the difficulty number is 4 instead of 5. But if you fail, you get a trap. And that'll take damage on your dice. I managed to get 3 monsters and win. Now, you're collecting treasure points and glory. And some of your character stuff, you can have free rerolls. Like an artifact or a character ability, you can re-roll some of those dice. Of course, if you do the re-roll and it comes up with a 1, down it goes. I fought a Chaos Lord. Unfortunately, the Chaos Lord, if you roll a 1 or a 2, it downgrades. And whenever you take damage in combat, because it might be a difficulty 4 fight and 3 hit points, every time you succeed by beating your difficulty 4, they lose a hit point. Every time you fail defending that difficulty 4, well, one of your dice gets downgraded. In the specific case of the Chaos Lord, one of those dice goes down to dead. So, when I finally finished the mission, I didn't have 9 fresh dice. I had just a couple of them up here and fresh, most of them in tired, a few in wounded, and 1 in dead. But I did the bare minimum because I was gonna die. So thumbs up on that. I mean, there are different character classes and all that. So it's fun. I want to do that for the channel using a whole bunch of, you know, I want to roll my dice, but I also want to show how to do this digitally. Because you can play it with a PDF. It's got a character character sheet that you can have over on a place where you move your dice. And then there's your map, and then you can have your book open. And if you wanted to have it, you just flip through them, you know, alt-tabbing if you're on Microsoft Windows. I don't know about Windows 11. As a quick aside, in 2025, I think it is, 2024, 2025, they're going to stop all support for Windows 10. Windows 11 is like horrific. People don't like it. It's not fully functional yet, and apparently they're working on Windows 12. So thumbs up on that. Let me check the rest of my list. Oh yes, Jesse Koskinen was saying my horsehead mask up here is hilarious, and the position that it's in and such, it makes me laugh too. Hopefully I can zoom in on it with share factor and all. The mask right now looks like it's been whacked upside the head with a 2x4. So, don't do that again. So, yeah, I need to put up the chicken mask again, but then I'm going to have to start putting everything away. Now, I do have to do some verification stuff, but I have started the an OnlyFans. So, who knows what's going to happen there. Just thought I'd mention that as well. And that's about it. I have done no real creative thinking other than the stuff I've been able to quickly talk about, because there's the static, because of the panic, leaving not much room for anything else. And of course, the swelling on my left leg is coming back around the ankle, that spongy feeling. I have a whole bunch of red discoloration right around the left inside ankle. It doesn't hurt yet, but by the time I get to the end of the month to see the doctor, hopefully it's not cellulitis that's still hurting me. Thank you to each and every one of my Patreon patrons that I'm not able to put up here on the list, because as much as I'm using my arm, as much as I did scrawling to make character sheets and stuff last night to play the game, it hurts to do stuff like that. It is tired now just from waving around. So thank you, each and every person that's on my Patreon patron list that I'm not able to thank. Thank you if you are watching, each and every person that donates to my GoFundMe, and if you could, whatever corner, if you can, again, only if you can, you know, do not hurt yourself, do not inconvenience yourself, only if you have spare cash that you can afford to pass on. You know, either through my PayPal, which is in the video description, or through the GoFundMe, which hopefully one of these corners, I can't remember which one. So that would be cool, but only if you can. And of course, thank you to each and every person that leaves me a comment. It is very awesome. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Of course, I'm worried about my latest videos. Hokey smokes. I mean, of course, my latest shorts, Demonetized, up for review, but we shall see. And I've almost broke 90 views on my latest Dead Island, so oh boy. Thumbs up. Still, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. Now I gotta turn on my controller again. So, yeah, you take care.